Greetings, football lovers. Welcome to another episode of Ball Chat Podcast, live on Facebook, YouTube, and Flow Sports YouTube page. My name is Benton, part of the Ball Chat family. We're hitting for Junior. Junior is not here with us today. We're waiting for Camon to join in. But football lovers, Ball Chat Podcast is all about reviewing the week's major news in the world of football. We'll wait for Camon. Camon will join in whenever if she is free. And we'll go ahead and just discuss the week's major news in the world of football. We have Championship Sunday. What a Sunday. What a week it was in ball game. Championship Sunday. We'll discuss the MLS being back. We'll also kick it off with our Ballas and Bugs at the top of the show. And then at the back end, we'll talk about the Caribbean Professional Premier League. This has some going on with that and the rumblings around that situation. And it's a lively show. We always encourage fans to take part. It's live and interactive show. So if you want to take part in the show, you can chime in, send on your comments or questions. If you're watching us on Ball Chat YouTube page or Ball Chat Facebook page or Flow Sports YouTube page, you can join in the discussion. All right, so send on your ballers and bugs. Come on, what you do? Hopefully you're all right now. Come on, join in. Go on. Still waiting on come on to join us. But football lovers, if you have ballers and bugs, send. Oh, she's fine. Come on, how are you doing? Happy, Lord, I'm happy to see you.
Hi, how are you? So I couldn't get in. It wouldn't let me in.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Is that us today, right?
Is it? Well, yes, Junior is away this week. And football lovers, we are live. So come on, is joining us live. How was your week? Come on.
Was good. I can't complain. How was yours?
It was good. It was good. All right, at the top of the show, we always have ballers and bugs. Ballers being the impressive players of the week, bugs being the unimpressive players of the week. And Championship Sunday, come on, who do you have as your ball of the week watching football?
So, I always have a couple. I don't have one. I want to big up Jack Grealish. I don't think Jack Grealish is going to be at Aston Villa much longer. I think he's a clutch player for them. His goal was pivotal in getting them to safety. And he has, in 36 appearances, he has 8 goals and 6 assists. Probably don't sound much, but he was important to Aston Villa staying up. So Kevin De Bruyne is also my baller of the week because he continues to show why he's one of the best players in the English Premier League, even though Man City have their issues and stuff. So today he had two goals. I was 2 goals and 1 assist he had today.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to that team once I'm outside of runnings.
Well, he had a good game today, and I also want to big up my guy, my striker, Giroud. He continues to be Mr. Clutch for Chelsea, and it's going to be interesting to see how he improves and he goes forward. So Jack Grealish, Kevin De Bruyne, and Oliver Giroud are my ballers of the week.
All right, but Jack Grealish, Oliver Giroud, and Kevin De Bruyne is Camon's ball of the week. We're getting a bit of information that the YouTube link is not working. I will try to fix that out. As the engineer is away, we'll try to fix that and get that up for you guys. But Jack Grealish, instrumental in Aston Villa staying up in the EPL. Jack Grealish and Aston Villa working hard and getting things done. So that's Camon's ball of the week. Oliver Giroud, the old man, finding form at the end and saving Chelsea. What a man, instrumental to Chelsea now making it to the Champions League. And also, who is it again? Kevin De Bruyne. What, the assist king? Come on.
Yes.
Yes, he was instrumental as City. Of course, will be in Champions League, but he was how many assists did he end this season with?
I don't even know. There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think he was running close to that record, trying to get to that record. All right, my ball of the week. I have to give my ball of the week to Houston Dash of the NWSL. Houston Dash won the Challenge Cup this season, and what happened they upset the Chicago Fire in not a lot of us saw that. Chicago Stars, sorry. Not a lot of us saw this coming. So big up to Houston Dash being a ball of the week. Sophie Schmidt and the Houston Dash team, they won that the first actual tournament to start back in North America and in Utah. So we want to give them credit for winning the NWSL as my ball of the week. And I want to big up
and I should say they also did it with having no COVID-19 positive test results. None.
They did it without any. Yes.
So again, just to show you that the women always do this thing great.
Yeah, no COVID tests. I think they ran over 2,000 tests and no COVID positive results came back for the NWSL. So big ups to them. And Kayla McCoy, she didn't see a lot of minutes on the field, but she's also part of that Houston Dash setup, and so she will celebrate that trophy with her team, Jamaica's own Kayla McCoy. So big up to Houston Dash on being the ball of the week. And I want to give an honorary baller to Marianne Fellaini. Yes, I know it's hard to find it, but Marianne Fellaini recovered from his COVID positive and scored a hat trick of goals yesterday in the Chinese Super League. Marianne Fellaini, just big up yourself on being a ball of the week for me. It's not very often he gets baller on Ball Chat. Family, if you want.
So I want to come back to that. So Kevin has 20 assists for this season.
Okay, so Kevin De Bruyne has 20 assists. All right, big up. All right, we'll get through the Ballers and Bugs. Keep your Ballers and Bugs coming. We'll get to the comments. But before we get to the comments, come on. Do you have any Bugs of the week?
Of course. The entire Leicester, Bugs. I think Leicester, they were leading what, with 14 points ahead of Manchester United, and now come to lose by 4. So I'm like, so Leicester is truly a bug. Brendan Rodgers, he was devoid of any ideas. It was just kick the ball to Vardy. Vardy will run. So Brendan and his Leicester City team, they are my Bugs. And also to Everton. Everton, you have Richarlison, you have Keane. I mean, how do you lose to Bournemouth 3-1? It's just absolutely ridiculous. But Leicester, Brandon, and Everton, those are my Bugs.
Leicester, Brandon, and Leicester City, led Manchester United by 14 points. And now Leicester City is out of a Champions League spot. They'll go to Europa League next year. We'll talk about that in our EPL Championship Day roundup. And Leicester City, Brandon, Everton. You forget Everton, Bug of the Week, come on. They lost to Bournemouth, a feisty Bournemouth. Everton had nothing to play for.
It don't matter. You just don't lose. Manchester City had nothing to play for, but yet they beat that team 5. So it's like, how do you lose to Bournemouth? I mean, Bournemouth had everything to play for, yes. But come on, Everton. You have all these players, these name brand expensive players, and you lose 3, not even 2-1, 3-1, not even a draw? Come on, no. Bug.
Big up El Pistolero, Franco, watching us on Ball Chat Facebook page. I see your comments coming in, family. Big up yourself. Marlon Gillette says, I'm watching you on YouTube. I wonder who am I watch? I come on. Big up yourself, Marlon. El Pistolero says, Trent is my baller for a right back. He has been exceptional, and of course El Pistolero with the stats. KDB had 20 stats. So El Pistolero's ball of the week. Big up yourself, Pascal Matthews. Pascal Matthews says Manchester United. I don't know if it's that ball or a bug. Big up yourself, Marcus Collins, watching us on Ball Chat Facebook page. The Chelsea fan, Liverpool fan right now. I guess Liverpool must be the ball of the week for Marcus. Send on your ballers and bugs. So come on. You said your bugs were, you got Leicester City, Everton, and there was another bug that I was missing.
Brandon, the coach.
Brandon Rodgers. And we'll get to that we'll get to it in our championship roundup here. My bug of the week is Atlanta United. Hands down, pathetic display. My home team, Atlanta United, played 3 games in this MLS World Cup style tournament. no points, no goals. What kind of garbage is this? And Atlanta United got the bug of the week from me and subsequently fired the coach, Frank de Boer. So now we're without a coach and we lost at sea. So Atlanta United is my bug of the week. And in addition, Watford. Watford, what kind of foolishness is this? Watford find a way to get relegated. Bug, bug, bug. Elton John and the entire ownership at Watford need to do a real re-examination of what's going on with that outfit as they go back to the championship. All right, keep sending on your bugs, ballers and bugs. Come on, let's try to see if we can get to some of these questions. Leicester City, Marlon Gillette says Leicester City and Sheffield United quite disappointed in how they finish. Prime Minister says Brandon, as in Brandon Rogers, is a bug of the season. All right, come on, let's go to Championship Sunday. Leicester City. I mean, they made the Europa League. Is it really that bad?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they were in pole position to make Champions League. They were, I mean, as I said before, I think 14 points clear of Manchester United, right? 14 points clear. And then for you to really make that team come and jump over you and go and clear it by 4, it's just, I think it's shambolic. And I think you watching them play, you probably understand why. I think they lost their identity. And I really think that they had no ideas other than kick the ball to Vardy. Maybe that's why Vardy is a Golden Boot winner, because everything fell on Vardy. And you want to tell me, say, out of the entire Leicester City squad, bench, academy, whatever, reserve team, Wes Morgan is the best defender you can have to put around here. The young boy, them are run West. I mean, I love Wes Morgan, you know. Well, but the fact is that Brendan Rodgers, I think he set the team up to fail. Now they have to dip in their pockets and they have to buy players because it's shambolic. You don't make somebody catch you up. That is like running 100-meter and you're at the 80-meter mark. You see him still not the starting block, right? And still pass you and still broke a record. That's how Leicester City got the little bus whooped by Manchester United. So it's disappointing. It really is.
And just to recap, the final, at least the current standing at the end of the season, the final standing at the end of the season in terms of the big spots in the EPL. Of course, Liverpool, the champions, the standard bearer this year. Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Manchester United into next year's Champions League. Leicester City finished 5th. And Spurs finished 6th. Those are into the Europa League. If Chelsea goes on to win the FA Cup final, then Wolves in the 7th spot will move into next year's Europa League. If Arsenal does go on to win the FA Cup's final over Chelsea, then Wolves won't go to the Europa League. Come on, again, Leicester City. I mean, did we expect a little bit too much from them? I mean, it's bare bones team. Come on.
Leicester City was English Premier League. They were champions. What are you saying?
Yeah, but
I mean, of course. The question is, did we expect Arsenal to finish 8th? I mean, like, we expect Leicester to compete.
Really? You know, Leicester City? They have one striker.
Listen. They won the Premier League.
5 years ago, come on.
It don't matter. But you now have to attach champions to Leicester City. I'm sorry. Even though maybe we say it's a fluke why they won, we still have to attach champions to Leicester City. So, of course, we have to expect it. You don't expect this from a Burnley or a Southampton or a Bournemouth. Even a Newcastle, we don't expect it from. But Leicester has proven to us that they can play and they can compete. So for them to kind of like give up, it's like the restart was bad for them. So Watford was begging not to have it. Leicester should have begged not to get the thing restarted. Because, you know, I just can't understand how they let this slip out of their hands.
Come on, I want to put the ball on the Leicester City discussion real quickly, but do you support sticking with Brandon Rodgers and just getting more talent?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do think that Brennan is a good enough coach.
Okay.
I just think that he didn't have the personnel to kind of compete.
Okay.
And we say it all the time. They're talking about a player or one player don't make a team better, which that's not true, because we have seen that Bruno actually has been the best January signing in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Bruno actually took Manchester United on their back. So if you get a quality one or two players in Leicester, you keep Brendan Rodgers, and I do think that they will do better, or they will continue to do well.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand the getting rid of the coach and keeping the same players. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
You keep the coach, right? You work on the philosophy. You get the players. They buy. And Brendan is a good person. Players do like him. So you keep the coach. You play into his philosophy. You get the personnel, and then you move forward. If look at Watford, they fired the coach thinking that the players that they had they were good enough, even with a change of coach. I don't sorry for them one bit.
Yeah, it's crazy. And we'll talk about Watford in a little bit. Another team that kind of wet the bed today in the run-in. Wolves finished 7th. Now they don't have their fate in their hand. They lost to Chelsea 2-0. But Chelsea is exceptional. Are you disappointed with the fact that Wolves finished 7th, knowing that they've played more games than anyone else during this long season, of course?
Wolves was basically a 1 or 2 trick pony. We were like, get the ball to Traore, he'll bulldoze everybody out of the way, and he'll go and score. I never expected much from Wolves. I did expect a lot from Sheffield, though, because I liked how Sheffield was playing. But for me, Wolves was just okay. They were just okay.
Wolves was just okay. And you're a Chelsea team. Impressive, got the job done. They didn't leave it up to anybody else. Your thoughts?
Hey, today when I saw the lineup, I was like, who make Frank Lampard get some balls today?
Yeah.
That man put the most expensive goalkeeper on the bench. And I do think that Willie actually did himself a favor today, and he might actually play in the FA Cup final. I was impressed with the personnel. You always hear me complain about Frank Lampard and his management. I do still think that Mason Mount is going to be the hill that he dies on. Mason Mount kind of shut me up today with that exceptional free kick.
Free kick, yeah.
Wasn't really a free kick to begin with, but anyway, we
Yeah,
have quite So sometimes we're lucky that way. But I was impressed. Pulisic came on in place of Willian. I like Willian. I just think that sometimes Willian holds on to the ball too long and he kills the play. So Pulisic is more dynamic. He kind of brought some life to the team today. So they actually played guns blazing. So I can't complain. And I do think that Giroud should always start. And I don't think he's a 90. And he even said in an interview one time that he's not a 90-minute player. And I do understand. But if you get him on the field to set the pace, I do think you can bring Tommy in. So I was impressed with Lampard's decision making today, and I was impressed by how Chelsea played today.
Yeah, Chelsea very, very surgical in their approach to secure Champions League next year. Manchester United took care of business. It's all about Bruno Fernandes. You think your assessment of Paul Pogba as this team now look forward to Champions League next year, or you're fundamentally concerned about the issues at the back with Harry Maguire?
First of all, Manchester United is not my team, so I'm not.
Yeah, but I mean, as an objective journalist, I would figure you have an objective assessment.
They can keep Harry Maguire as long as they want. His game is. I like to use shambolic because I think it encompasses what I mean to say. Harry Maguire's play is shambolic. I don't know how I know how this man become the captain, and I know how this man play every game, every minute of the season for Manchester United because he's an Englishman. The next thing we're gonna hear say he's gonna win footballer of the year. Harry Maguire is a bumbling idiot. I don't know how he is. You know what? I was just saying, me know why, but I am concerned for Man U and the backline if they keep, because everybody kind of realizes his weaknesses and they pick on his weaknesses.
Yeah.
So I don't trust him in the back. As I said, Bruno is that change that Manchester United wanted and needed. For me, some game Pogba is non-existent. Maybe because Bruno is taking the shine today. I don't even remember Pogba really being on the pitch. I mean, and then Lingard scored a second goal. I'm like 2020. Something is going on in 2020 because that was just ridiculous. But I do think Manchester United going forward will do well. Since once they start getting the pieces in, I do think that they'll do well.
Yeah, Jesse Lingard scored. I think the last time he scored a goal was December 2018. So it's been a long time coming for Jesse Lingard. Big up yourself, Prime Minister, watching us on Ball Chat YouTube page. Prime Minister says, sounds like Camone is eating humble pie on Lampard. LOL.
I am.
Big up Jason Frame. Jason Frame said, bug of the week. Come on, Leaf. It just compare Manchester United to Usain Bolt. And Jason Frame also says Leicester City, one name, James Maddison. Yes, James Maddison picked up an injury, and he's been sorely missed by Leicester City. All right, come on. Before we try to point out what we got wrong, in our predictions last year, the big mistake that we made last year when we predicted the EPL. Before we get to that, Watford, Bournemouth, and Norwich are down. Which one of those will actually lose their players the most? I mean, you got Ismail Sarr of Watford and Gerald Deulofeu. Do you think those players, Cantwell of Norwich, do you think other Premier League teams will go ahead and peel off those players?
I know Bournemouth is about to lose Ake. I think they were talking about Manchester City wants him. Norwich, I do think, for me, I think Pookie is a good player. He reminds me of a Chris Gale. So I think a Pookie would probably find a spot on Crystal Palace, or maybe at Everton. I'm so tired of Everton. Even on a West Ham. But I do think that people will raid Watford more than they would raid Norwich or Bournemouth.
And of the three, which one do you think returns to the EPL the quickest?
Bournemouth.
Yeah. Does Eddie Howe remain at the helm? Would you stick with him?
I would.
I
mean, I think he's a good enough, a competent enough coach to bring them back. I don't think he's necessarily a Premier League coach. I think he's a championship coach. But listen, if they can take Frank Lampard from Derby, really not great at Derby, and bring him and put him in a top level team, they can stick with Eddie. I think they'll stick with him. I think they'll do well. Does he want to stay? That's the next question.
That's the next question.
I do think that they should keep him.
Wrapping up our discussion on Championship Sunday in the EPL, Jose Mourinho and his Spurs outfit there and his coaching staff were celebrating immensely. When he took over, they were in 14th. They're now qualified for Europa. Your assessment, is Jose really the right man for the Spurs job?
Jose is my guy, okay? Yeah. Jose Mourinho is my guy. And I do remember we were thinking that Tottenham would be in Arsenal's spot or even 11th. So I think this is an accomplishment for Jose because he has a team where there are no stars. They're talking about Harry Kane. Harry Kane is okay. I think Jose will be fine. I think Tottenham will be okay. I think they'll do well.
Big up to Lauriston Clark watching us on Flow Sports, formerly Island Sports Network YouTube page. Laurenton says, what about the RSPL? RSPL, Red Stripe Premier League, will start back in August, tentatively, if everything remains under control as it relates to COVID, August or September. Big up to GB Bang watching us. Jose lost his touch. That's what big up GB Bang watching us on Flow Sports YouTube page. All right, come on, doing some ball shouts.
What, he's just asking me, what am I talking about? Listen, yeah. Harry Kane is a world-class striker. What are you talking about? Harry Kane is an okay world-class. I don't see anybody beating on the door for Harry Kane. You see Real Madrid or Barcelona beating on the door for him. You see AC Milan or Juventus or Inter Milan beating on the door for him. You see Atletico Madrid. Come on now. He's an okay player for an English club.
GG Bang, wake up, send up Camon's blood pressure and said Harry Kane's a world-class striker. What's she talking about? Let's look at the numbers. Get the numbers. We'll then do an assessment. Doing some self-assessment of our predictions last year and what we got wrong. Come on, you go ahead. What was the biggest error you made in predicting last year's Premier League season? Now that it's
I thought that Sheffield would be top 4. That's what I thought, and I thought that Arsenal would be in top 4. I did not pick for some reason because they get a new coach. You have good players. I mean, so you would think so. I got those wrong. Liverpool winning, I didn't get that.
Yeah.
So Chelsea in 4th. I pretty much I said top 5. So that was kind of okay. But Sheffield was on a tear, and I just thought that they would keep going, but they didn't. So
I think for most of us, we all acknowledge that Liverpool was going to be the linchpin to try to win the title. A lot of us didn't go for Liverpool because of City being the defending champions. So when we made our predictions, we put a star beside it that we expected Liverpool to really push up against them, if not win it. So we give it a Liverpool pass. About the Sheffield and Arsenal, that's the stupidness. No, my stupidness are my biggest messed up of last year. And come on, you can laugh at me. Everton. I fell for the Everton Kool-Aid. I was drinking the Marcus Silva and Everton Kool-Aid. They went out and made huge transfers in the summer, and I thought Everton would be a Champions League team at the end of this season. Boy, was I wrong. What a team walk list. Marcus Silva is out of a job, currently looking for a job, and it took Carlo Ancelotti to kind of shore up things for Everton. So those are the things. Football family, Stefan Hines watching us says the bug of the week is Lampard for disrespecting Jurgen Klopp, and we're about to get to that. Ball of the week is Bruno helped Manchester United, Man United from 14 points off top 4 to 3rd place finish. All right, come on, before we move away from the EPL and try to discuss some other things, big game in the middle of the week. EPL matchup between Liverpool and Chelsea. Liverpool won the game, was quite fantastic the way they went ahead 3-0. Chelsea came back, but there was some off the field, behind the scene discussion afterwards. Lampard saying that Liverpool staff violated the touchline conduct. Or touchline code. What is Lampard pushing his mouth into the wrong things here?
He was just frustrated. I think that's what he was. You could see the look on his face. He had no idea what to do. I just think he, and we all know, we've seen Klopp. Klopp is not Jose Mourinho. He doesn't pick fights, and, he's always calm and always nice. I just think that Lampard lost his cool. And, I wouldn't be surprised if off the field, Lampard apologized to Klopp.
Yeah, Klopp said there are certain things that Lampard needs to learn, and just to paraphrase, Klopp said he needs to learn that once the game is over, these things are over. He shouldn't. But we saw last year or a couple years back when Lampard was at Derby County, and the whole thing with Spygate and El Loco. Does Lampard have some management issues or emotion controlling issues there. Come on, that he needs to get sorted out.
Listen, Lampard is not my first choice. I just think, he did an average job at Derby County, and you just hand him the keys. But for any other coach, it would be a vigorous interview, a vigorous job interview. So, he transitioned from a player to a coach. So yeah, maybe he needs to learn that, because I know with players, it happens on the field, you take it home with you. I mean,
Yeah.
you take it in the locker room, you're still upset about it. So maybe those things will come in time. I just think, Lampard was frustrated that the game wasn't going how he planned it, and he just let his emotions get the best of him.
Get the best of him. So he has some learning to do. All right. Before we move away from Jordan Henderson won the Football Writers Association Player of the Year. Come on, you're satisfied with that award?
I said no. and then I went and I read the criteria, and I'm like, okay, it's not for the best player in England, it's for a leader. And okay, Jordan, you're a leader.
No, but one could argue that Liverpool probably wouldn't have won the title without him, right? He's been integral in this whole thing.
One could argue that they wouldn't win the title without VVD. So, I mean, okay. So he's a leader. I mean, the team loves him. I mean, okay.
Big up to Liverpool. Liverpool ended the season 99 points, and I suspect they have more awards coming down as the season goes through. The next EPL season will kick off in September, so we don't have far left before the season kick off. Stepping away from the EPL and Championship Day to French Cup final, PSG defeated Saint Etienne as Neymar scored 1-0. Scored the goal, the game ended 1-0, but the big news, Kylian Mbappe picked up what seems to be a nasty injury. Your thoughts on the game, come on, and overall, how does this affect PSG outlook in the Champions League tournament coming down?
It was a real choppy game. From the beginning, the Saint Etienne wanted to set the tone. I mean, they tackled Neymar so hard, I felt it through the TV. So I think they wanted to send a message. The game was crazy because you had one red card. That was the tackle on Mbappe by the captain. And it was weird because the captain, he is known to be one of the nicest players, one of the nicest persons in the French, league. So it was weird. And when you look at the tackle, it was nasty, but I don't think it was intentional. And people will get mad at me and whatever, but I don't think he went in to hurt him. I thought he just wanted to, because that was the only way, because he was through to goal. So that was the only way to stop him. So I do think the game was really, really bad. 10 yellow cards, 1 red card, fist fights, coaches got involved. But Neymar's goal was the winner. And I think Saint Etienne was really unlucky because they hit the crossbar. They had a couple of good chances. Even down a man, they still pressed PSG. So it was a good enough game. It was okay. It was more like watching Waterhouse versus Portman.
Oh, come on. That's too far. Come on. Quickly, I want to find out. Of course, Kylian Mbappe is a huge miss for any team. How does this affect PSG in the Champions League tournament coming out in a few weeks? And also, the French league has been slowly getting fans in. They had about 5,000 fans at this French Cup final. Do you like that move by the French league? And the French second division also have been doing it to try to get fans in to the games. They're at 4,000 fans in these capacity stadium, in these 81,000 capacity.
They actually invited 10,000 fans.
Okay.
And the supporters group were so upset because some would come in and some wouldn't come in. So 5,000 said no, thank you.
Okay.
So they had 5. But even with the 5,000, I like that they spread them out. Okay. And the atmosphere was good. I mean, it's not bad. I think they're maintaining and controlling COVID. So I think if something happens, then they will obviously retract. But I think they're testing this to see how far they can push it. In Mbappe's case, they're saying that the injury is not as bad as they thought it was, and that he might be out 10 to 15 games. If that's the case, then he should be okay. He should be ready to go for Champions League. So I don't think that it should be an issue unless the injury is more serious than what they're saying it is.
Yeah, and PSG is looking to win 3 tournaments or 3 trophies this summer. They have the French Cup final, which they'll play. They already won that trophy, and they will play Lyon in the League Cup final this Friday. And of course, they have the Champions League final, the Champions League tournament coming up, where they play Atalanta in the round in the knockout stage. Moving away from the French Cup final and the PSG winning that title to Italy, come on, it's business as usual. As Serie A seems to be wrapping up. Juventus looking 9 trophies in a row. I mean, and they're in a slump. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know what the score is. They're playing now.
Yeah, they're currently leading 2-0 over Sampdoria.
Okay, so it's a wrap. Because I was saying that if they lost 3 games in a row, like what they did before, then Inter would have a chance. Lukaku is rounding up. He's finding his form. Hopefully, he can keep it next season and score a bag of goal. I'm always Horatio Yawd always a complaint about Lukaku. First touch, it's really, really poor. Has not improved, but he is scoring his goals.
Yeah.
So congrats to Juventus. What's your boy name? Cristiano with the next trophy.
Yeah, I mean, imagine a league where a team is winning the ninth from 2011 onwards. It's the only champion of the summit as Juventus. Doesn't matter who's coaching that team. They will find a way and will win the. Your assessment on Conte. He seemed to lost his cool there a few games back when his team choked at the end. He's made up excuse about the schedule, the cramped schedule. Is Conte losing it here in charge of Inter, or just trying to blowing off steam after that game?
Did he ever have it? I mean, I'm gonna lose something we've never had.
Yeah, but I thought Antonio Conte is a pretty good manager.
But he has always been this passionate. I mean, it's not new. He's always been a passionate, outspoken coach. He just needs to continue leading from the front. I think next season his team will actually be running up and finding form. So I just think he should just relax and just prepare for next season.
Yeah, I was a little bit taken aback when I heard him kind of making somewhat of an excuse about the schedule. I mean, we all know the COVID schedule was going to be cramped. So I mean, Juventus didn't drop as many points as he hoped. So. Stepping away from Serie A, Juventus wins their 9th title, and we can probably put down next year's title also because they probably will win it.
GB Bang is saying CR7 is going to miss the Golden Boot. Good.
We'll find a way to give it. To him.
But isn't there 4 more penalties?
But moving away from football in Europe to discuss some football in our own backyard and answer some questions from fans during the week. First, come on, let's talk about Yawd Ballas and get some update on Jamaican footballers and how they're doing in leagues and overseas.
Well, Andre Blake is he's the lone Jamaican in the MLS's back tournament. I mean, he's still being talked about as one of the best goalkeepers in MLS. And I just don't understand why Andre go Europe, go on bigger club, go somewhere else, go earn one bag load of money. Because if the boy keeper can be Chelsea #1 and most expensive goalie, Andre Blake can make some money.
Yeah, I mean, he was instrumental in that defeat of New England, right? He made some very good saves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know what? With all Andre too, him let the easy one them roll, and save the hard one them the time. So
those are the views, Andre. Those are the views that come on lead.
But he has gotten better. So he's been doing well. Nika Daly scored for his team in a 2-0 win. the game, I mean, USL is what it is. Romeo Parks helped his team to beat Locomotive FC, didn't score. Flemings and Lambert lost to Orange County, which was kind of weird because, Flemings always score. Nico Brett helped his team to a 1-1 draw with Tampa Bay. Jamal Topi and his team lost to Hartford. This is what I'm going to say to Topi. I don't know what's going on, but Jamal Topi is a very good player. The last couple of games I've seen, it's not Topi. He looks ordinary. And I think, I don't know what's going on, but he needs to step it up if he wants to be a part of Qatar. And I think he has a good chance of being a part of Qatar. Jeremy Lynch is playing all the way over South Vietnam. He came back from injury to score his fourth goal in 7 games, and it was an exceptional strike. So if anybody wants to go look at Jeremy Lynch's strike, go on. It was a very good strike. So that's basically all I have for my Yawd ballers.
All right, big up to all the Yawd ballers as they continue to ply their trade overseas. Go on, eat your food. Come on, we had a question from a listener last week, and we're going to try to address it real quickly. Javon Farbs, big up yourself, watching us out of Cayman. Javon had a couple questions about the Caribbean Professional League, and do we have any information on the update on the Caribbean Professional League, and how he says, what it says. In addition, do you think it will benefit or hinder Jamaicans' Red Stripe Premier League progress? So to answer the question, Javon, the Caribbean Professional League, they have a working group that was put together by CONCACAF, Victor Montigliani, and Victor Montigliani, who's the president of CONCACAF, and Rodolphe Harris, CFU, Caribbean Football Union's president, put together a working group with multiple personnel on that working group. And the working group's objective is to evaluate the feasibility of hosting or having a Caribbean Professional League. Come on, that is essentially the status. They need to gather information. They want to look at the actual earnings potential of how is it going to be able to sustain itself. Is it sustainable? Because we've had multiple attempts at this before in terms of a Caribbean Professional League. Come on, do you have anything else to add? I mean, a lot of things have been delayed. That working groups progress has been delayed because of COVID.
I don't know what to say when it comes to Caribbean football. I don't know if we put enough energy and enough time to kind of research and find out what we really need to have a really good system in the Caribbean. The Red Stripe Premier League is a very good example where they wanted to franchise it out. They wanted to get more sponsors, and it's just the product is just not there. So Caribbean football really need an overhaul, and I really hope that when COVID dies down and everything, they'll come together and figure out a way how to get it going. Because we do have diamonds that need a little bit of polishing. If we can get our local players, our Caribbean-based players, into a good enough league, we can see we can get the money for them, and we can put back the money and invest in the Caribbean. So it's going to be hard. I don't know who's running what, who's doing what, but they have to come together and figure out a way how to fix it.
So the interesting thing, or the elephant in the room, is that under the previous CONCACAF president, Jeffrey Webb, they did make an attempt to try to have a Caribbean Professional League. For whatever reason, that did not work, and that was, I think it was 2014. So there's been multiple attempts, and I remember in the 90s there were also a run at trying to have a Caribbean Professional League. Vice chairman of the PLCA Association, the Premier League Club Association, Mr. Calvert Stewart, had said that in a presser, I think in May, he had mentioned that the Premier League clubs need to have a seat at the table in these discussions that are going on with CFU and CONCACAF about any professional league. They need to figure out a way to keep the clubs engaged, and if clubs are not being engaged, then that is not going to be beneficial, essentially. Your thoughts on that? Come on.
Listen, Benton, I don't know anything about them and them foolishness. They just need to figure out how to fix it. It's like a revolving door. They start, they stop, they start and stop, and nothing gets done. I tell you, man, no wonder woman are running, man. If you have a woman that running, things get done already. But, they have to figure it out. And they do have the people and the things in place to fix it and give us a good system.
All right, so there you have it, Javon. I hope we answered your question. Basically, the working group is still gathering data, and all of that was delayed because of COVID. But one of the concerns regarding the working group and others that I mentioned about this Caribbean Professional League is that the clubs, like the Red Stripe Premier League clubs, needs a seat at the table, and other clubs throughout the Caribbean, not just a working group to do this assessment and bringing together data by themselves. They need a seat at the table. All right, moving away from Jamaican football, let's try to discuss some more news in our own backyard. And come on, the big side, Atlanta United Five Stripe is without a coach. Frank de Boer, former Inter Milan, former Ajax, former Crystal Palace coach, was sacked by Atlanta United after the pathetic showing in the MLS's back tournament. I mean, come on, how much of this do you put on Atlanta United's brass making bad decisions, or is it Frank de Boer's failure as a manager?
Atlanta get 98% of the blame. You took away one of your best players, and who you replace him with? You bring up a young man from USL. I mean, come on now. And last season, you realize that Pitti probably still needs some time to adjust because he's not the player that everybody said he was. Then your guy, Martinez, Joseph got injured. It's like you give this man basket for carry water. He put the players on the pitch. His formation was good. It's the same one that worked before. And he's a good coach. So, I understand, Benton, you're going to blame this man. All right, you know what? I hope the next coach that comes in get faced with the same problem. And then we're going to hear what I'm going to say.
And mind you, football family, we have to be mindful that the views of Cameron Lee is always anti-Atlanta United and us. Jose Mourinho said that Frank de Boer was the worst manager in the EPL. I mean, Jose is your boy. Come on. Can you assess Frank de Boer at Atlanta United? I mean, the players look like... Last year, a group of the players said that the system wasn't working. And, LGP, Lorenzo Gonzalez Perez had to come out and walk that statement back. But this year in this MLS being back tournament, the players look lost. They don't know exactly what their role is. I mean, he's had enough time with this team, and he should have done a better job. I mean, the team had no sense of motivation, it seems.
What is more motivation than getting paid? I mean, come on now. Benton, when teams do well, players get the blame. Not get the glory, right? When the team go there and them win and one man score 5 goals and them move up and them win a group, you hear this player, that player. But when the team sucks, why is it solely on the coach's shoulders? You can't tell me that you can't tell me that in training you don't train. You know you're a left mid, you know you're a right mid, you know you're a centre back, you know you're a striker. What is it that you want the coach to do? Go there and tell him, say, okay then, run. You know what? I actually heard him on the sideline telling somebody, hold the ball. No, Jesus, how on earth now I could tell this man, you're a big man, you're a professional. Pitti has been a professional for so many years, win so much award in country, and you're going to tell me, say, you come and coach, I will tell you, if you hold up the ball, you want a box across your face. Listen, I don't give the coach 100% of the blame. The players need to know their roles. They need to go there and put 100%. Look like lackluster, of course. But they don't look worse than DC United, though. But hey, that's our next story. But you get rid of your player to Newcastle. You got a lot of money. Who you replace him with? You have to fill the void. You know them go? Get the young man from USA.
What are you trying to say? USL ball is not good, come on.
But he wasn't outstanding in USL. So I'm not gonna be outstanding in a MLS. Come on, them need to relax. I hope they get a good enough coach. They said that they're going to look for a coach in what, EPL or South America. They need to go back for Tata. That's what I need to do.
Tata Martino has better things to do. Atlanta United has a lot of work to do. I mean, evidently the loss of Darlington Nagbe, LGP, and Julian Gressel, who is now at the most hated team in the world, DC United, was a big loss for this outfit. So part of it is I blame Frank de Boer, and part of it I definitely blame the brass, Darren Eales and Carlos Bocanegra for losing so many pillars of this team and haven't fully replaced them. The issue that I have with Frank de Boer is that, Brethren, don't run off your mouth in things that don't concern you. And coach a team. Last year he ran off his mouth talking about the Atlanta United fans are spoiled. That was one check. Then he said that the women's game, something to the effect that they shouldn't get any money or shouldn't get paid the same as men. I mean, focus on coaching your team, Frank de Boer. You can run off your mouth when your team is doing quite well. Go on, Yawd. Yeah, go ahead, come on.
But so I wanted to put a couple of stats out there because I know that the Manu people are out there. So United won their 14th penalty of the season, the most penalties in English Premier League history. Manu on a team, sir. One time I used to get Sir Alex used to get a brown envelope. What is going on the team, sir? 14 penalties, the most in Premier League. Come on now, Manu, do better than that.
All right, come on. Can we finish up with MLS before you start beating Manchester United?
Finish ball Atlanta.
No, not yet. Let's just finish. We're gonna finish up with MLS. Prime Minister says FDB system was frustrating for the players. The body language was all off. But quickly before we go to Manchester United and wrap up the show, talking about the FA Cup final in a little bit. Come on, 3 big teams are out of this MLS's back tournament knockout phase. Big teams, air quotes, New York Red Bulls, Galaxy, and Atlanta United, of course. I mean, which of these 3 teams have more work to do?
Let me see. Again, Toronto.
There's New York Red Bulls, LA Galaxy, and Atlanta United.
Oh.
Come
LA
on.
Galaxy. No, that time. LA Galaxy. Chicharito's first game that we saw him play, he was okay. Wasn't that great. And then he got injured. Listen to me, glass man, Chicharito. He didn't even give out people their money. New York Red Bull is behind them. Them have problems. I know when them see Bradley Wright Phillips score them goal in the left, right, center, offline, they are wondering to themselves, why did I leave this? Let this man leave with the 99 back guy, LAFC got changed it to 66. I know that they're worried. They did not replace him. They did not replace Taxi, right? So Red Bulls need to work. LA Galaxy looked awful. They looked like a shit. I mean, like, what them lose? 6-3?
Yes, they lost 6-3, yeah.
Exactly. So those 2 teams, they have a lot of work to do.
And for this MLS is back tournament, who do you see as a favorite to win this? Is it all about Columbus Crew?
You know what? I always say the ball is round. But Columbus Crew, you know how me feel about MLS on my time. So my time, the game's going on, and I'd rather go outside and wash the car in the rain. But Columbus Crew played some football. I love Barcelona style. They were playing out of the back. So I'm in a little like Caleb Porter like that. And I sat and I watched. Nagbe is the best midfielder in MLS, period.
Yeah, Darlington.
And they were playing attractive football. See, Atlanta make him go to and don't replace him. So yes. we don't know what we're complaining about.
Former Atlanta United player, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, Columbus Crew really, really looks good. But Portland is eking out the wins. They're really, really drilling out the wins. So it's going to be interesting, but I do see Columbus winning it.
All right, all right. Football family, as we wrap up the show, let's put some spice at the end. We come on, start Manchester United, 14 penalties awarded. What else? Come on, beat whosoever. How many penalties or how many favorable free kicks? That one free kick did Chelsea get this year?
None. Listen to me. We want to finish what? Stop it. The one today, let's be honest. The one today, I mean, like,
That wasn't a free kick, come on.
No, it was not. But I'll take it. See? And then the fact that it scored, I felt so bad. And you could, I felt so bad. But how many times will I get little freeness? But that's it. This is my thing. I do hope that in the off season, them get some footballers, train them to run the VAR because it's not making any sense.
Yeah.
So they have to improve VAR so we can enjoy the game. And then, it is what it is. But also, David Silva is gone. He played his last game today. So this is what are the funny stats, and this is for my Arsenal people. Spurs finished the 2019-20 Premier League campaign on 59 points, their lowest Premier League points tally in 11 years. Yet they finished above Arsenal.
Okay, come on, go easy. Do you have any other stats for us? I hope Arsenal, we'll get to Chelsea versus Arsenal in a little bit. Be careful.
And Wan-Bissaka completed the most tackles in the Premier League this season. He had 129.
Okay.
Very good from the young man.
And we have to big up to Jamie Vardy also, who had, the Golden Boot, right?
Yes.
Do you envision Jamie...
Old man Jamie Vardy.
And surely Jamie Vardy is probably going to hit the wall next year, right?
Why? I don't see him slowing down. If West Morgan can run a back.
All right, moving away from the funny stats from Cameroon to wrap up the EPL season, FA Cup final. This is it, come on, big trophy. Chelsea need a chance this is Chelsea's trophy to win or lose. Your thoughts, come on.
If we played like how we played today, we can beat Arsenal. And I'm going to say we're going to beat Arsenal convincingly without any free kick help, without any VAR help. Because GB Banger said whenever VAR gives Chelsea any call, tell Lampard not to take it. You're mad. I see Chelsea, if we play like how we play today, I see Chelsea beating Arsenal at least 3-1. Me not throw a score in the way, have it, lock. 3-1.
And this is...
No penalties.
And Arsenal is running in hot under the current manager. I mean, Arsenal needs this trophy, needs this victory to make it to Europa League football next year. Come on, what are the key matchups for you in this? Is it all about Aubameyang, Lacazette? Do you start the three of them, Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Pepe, or do you go an alternative route? I mean, Chelsea's backline is quite slow.
Stop it! Stop giving Arteta. Stop giving inside info. Backline slow.
But surely
non-existent. But I mean, if Aubameyang will just run down the middle, men do not talk about it all the time. If he would just go directly towards goal, I see Chelsea backline having issues. But he likes to go out wide, and once he goes out wide, he loses the momentum. So I hope he does that the entire game. If Arteta is smart, he will start his key players against Chelsea, open the scoring quickly, and then if he wants to make changes at the end, he can. But if he starts his key players, I see Chelsea having issues with the speed. What we will love is if David Luiz stand up on a back and be the defender for us. So Pulisic and Giroud can wrap him up like, twig. But if Arteta do that, if him start for him crew, Chelsea will have issues.
I mean, David Luiz was exceptional in their last game, I think. I didn't see the game today against Watford, so he's a very key part. How he plays is going to be big. Your final prediction is what? 3-1 you said for Chelsea?
Yes.
What needs to happen for Arsenal to win this game?
Aubameyang to go directly to our goal. About the white foolishness and the creative foolishness. If you have those players on the same page, if they work with each other, if David Luiz don't have a brain fart, I see Arsenal making it a really competitive match.
But
if Lampard now, don't start Tammy, keep up on the bench, Kepa on the bench, and play Pulisic, right? Then I do think that Chelsea have an advantage.
An advantage to win. Come on, regarding you brought up Kepa, and I wanted to ask you this. I forgot to ask you this earlier. Is Kepa's long-term contract with Chelsea, is that in jeopardy?
It should be. I mean, he's not worse than David De Gea, right? But he's the most. No, but he's the most expensive keeper. But he's not keeping like he's the most expensive keeper. Him remind me of Joe Hart. Him need for so. I do listen. You know what? We talked about it last week about players being comfortable, and I think Kepa was very comfortable being the number one goalkeeper. So when he had those bloopers, it's as if he kind of brushed it off. No, Lampard is saying, listen, you might be the most expensive goalkeeper for us, but you are not always going to be the first choice. So I think he will improve his game and just play and just keep well.
Yeah, we'll see if Lampard goes with him or Willie Caballero for the FA Cup final. FA Cup final coming up this Saturday, August 1st. Come on, I hit that for me. Do you have anything else?
No, we're good.
All right, we're good, football family. All right, Ball Chat family, big up yourself, Junior, out there. Stay safe, Ball Chat family. If you want to follow or interact with us during the week or anytime, you can follow us on social media, ballchatpodcast@gmail.com. Ball Chat Podcast at Instagram, Ball Chat 1 on Twitter, Ball Chat at Facebook. You can email us at ballchatpodcast@gmail.com. The audio version of the show will be available on iTunes, Twitcher, and Google Podcasts and iHeartRadio, anywhere you get your podcasts. Yo, come on. Listen up. We're going on the road now.
All right, bless up.